I've convinced Matt to go with me to, actually I've convinced him to do the work. I'm just going to go with him and go find me a little small tree that I can put in the kitchen, a live tree. Our choices are not much here where we live in this part of Appalachia. In Wilson Holler, we've got pine trees and we've got cedar trees.
No, we ain't got no cedar trees.
Now, I keep saying cedar. I mean hemlock. I've been keep telling Matt I want a cedar tree, and he keeps telling me that. In my mind, I'm seeing a hemlock. I just keep saying cedar. Hemlock.
Yeah, maybe we'll find one.
Hemlock or a little pine tree or something. So we're gonna go see what we can find so that I can put one in the kitchen. Another thing was, remember those little round things we made one year so we could put the little, do you remember those?
Oh, that's very cool.
The little round pieces of wood, and you drilled a hole in it, and then I stuck a branch in it, a pine branch in it.
Yeah.
You remember them?
Yeah.
I found 2 of them, which that could be, I guess I could just get them off these pine trees.
Yeah.
All right, where are we going? Up the creek, down the creek, around the creek?
Down here and off the hill.
All right, let's go. Look at this beautiful lichen, lichen, how do you say that, Matt?
Old man's beard.
Old man's beard, Matt says. Just laying right in the middle of the trail. It's beautiful. Matt's doing a little trail maintenance. This is an old trail that he built or cut out many years ago that just leads from our house down to the creek. Look at this beautiful moss. Looks like a shag rug. So pretty. Living on the north side of the mountain, we have lots and lots of moss. Matt was explaining to me there's 2 great old big cedars. Here, I'm saying it again, hemlocks right here, so there may be some seedlings underneath them. There's one of the big ones. Here's 2 really small ones that are pretty. You can see the problem is they don't have branches on one side, but they do on the other. I wonder if we could tie them together, what that would look like. That might work. That's not bad. Turn it around this way. There you go. That's pretty good. Well, putting several little ones together, I think it's gonna work. It's not gonna be the perfectly shaped Christmas tree, but I knew that when we come out to hunt it. So I think that'll work, don't you, Matt?
I think so.
This was the other big hemlock Matt saw here. Think the glass one will work, or should we use the mason jar?
I would probably think the mason jar.
Okay, that's fine.
Something with a smaller top and keep it from leaning over.
Okay. What would you do without zip ties?
Use baling wire.
You like zip ties though. I mean, they're handy.
I like both. Still gonna try to lean.
What else have I got? I've got like a, I don't think it'd fit down in it though, but I'm like a, only other thing I've got is real narrow. It's like a milk glass vase, but it's like a bud
Real
vase.
small at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Let me go back and look again and see what else I got. Went in search of bottles. Thankfully, I've got a huge collection, so I think this was an orange juice. Let's see, does it say on here? No, it just says something. I don't know. I think it was an orange juice bottle, maybe. Anyway, we're going to see if it'll work. Found a honey one, but it was too short. Does that say on the bottom?
No.
The only thing bad about my bottle collection is I should have wrote down where they all come from, and I didn't. That's better.
Put a little water in it and then
Oh,
give it some weight
perfect,
and that'll
yeah.
hold it.
Beautiful. Okay, let's take it inside and see what it's going to look like. We're going to put up our Christmas cards around here, so that's something we still need to do. I've got them right here. And I think the best place, what do you think, Matt? I know you don't care, but the best place for it to go would be where Santa's at.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what it looks like right there. Then I'm gonna have to decide if I want to decorate it. To move this one over. I don't know. Kind of pretty though with it in it. It looks great. That looks good. I don't know what I'll do with him, but that's perfect. And maybe I could put some, I'll put something around the bottom. I'm gonna have to go find something to put around it. Probably if I had some cloth under it, it'd make it sit better too, wouldn't it? You want to put water in it, and I'll go find something to fix it. Did the water help it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Makes it look even so pretty, even with the zip ties.
You could always put food color in it and hide the water with some zip ties.
You could, yeah. Kind of wrinkledy. I don't know about that.
Or you could wrap around it with something.
Yeah.
Wrap the bottle.
Trying to think of like a little tree skirt. I don't know. I think I like that part. Can I make you lift it up one more time? Good. Then I could get some of my little trees or something to put around it. Nice, very nice. You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for helping me do it.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to think about if I want to. I was thinking about cutting out snowflakes and putting on it. Like the old timey.
Mm-hmm.
It's really too small to string popcorn.
I'd be too tempted to eat the popcorn.
You'd be eating it, chewing on it. Sweet gumballs if we had some of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll have to think about how to decorate it and think on that. But it's beautiful. I like it. Thank you very much.
Yes, dear.
Now I think, it's not too cold outside. Could we sit outside and have some hot chocolate, or you want to sit by the wood stove?
Outside's fine with me.
You're too hot sitting by the wood stove probably. After we're being outside, it was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hot chocolate or a popsicle?
Either one. I can do either.
Okay. I think I could eat. I could too.
Nice right there.
I know our popsicles have. And wait till you get that off. There really is.
What in the world has went on there?
I don't know. Our popsicles are really bad today. I've already got purple all over my face.
I'm just going to go ahead and rub it all over me and get done with it.
I know. I don't know. It's like the grape go to syrup somehow. It doesn't go. I've got it all over me too.
I don't care. I didn't care when I was 4, and I don't care now.
It does taste good though. Mm-hmm. Very good. So we've had a little, I guess, a warm up today, and I guess it was a little bit warmer yesterday. It's supposed to be cold again next week.
Yeah, I think so. I've not looked that far ahead.
We've had some really cold days though. Cold mornings. Big heavy frost. I love it when it's, look out the window and it's frosty and everything's white and see the smoke coming out of the chimney. That's nice, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It'd be nicer, of course, to me if it was like 6 inches of snow on the ground, but I'll take a big, heavy, hard frost. Matt's been keeping the wood stove going, so it's nice to go downstairs and you get lured in by it, and then you don't want to leave it once you're sitting by it.
It's about so hot down there you can't stand it now.
It feels
I've
pretty
just been
good.
putting a log on it every now and then, or a hunk of wood, but
Yeah.
it still is too hot for me.
I really love how my little tree in the kitchen turned out. Several trees put together. I'm really thankful we live in a place where we can just go out and find it like that. Very nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, next week I hope to do the greening of Christmas, and Matt will be here this year to help me do that. I'm so thankful he's home with me now to help with everything and to do what he wants to do too. You've got to hunt more than you have in years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really nice. But even though we'll do that, the greening, I'll make some wreaths and maybe a swag and some different things, put some different little greenery around the living room and the kitchen and throughout the house. I don't know why I just wanted that little tree like that in the kitchen this year. It was probably, I looked because I couldn't remember and Matt didn't remember. I said, remember several years ago when I didn't want to pull out all the Christmas stuff and I said I just wanted to do a really simple Christmas and I didn't even get any of my decorations out, and he said, no, I don't remember that. So I knew that I'd documented it on the Blind Pig and the Acorn, and so I went back and found it, and it was in 2010. And it wasn't that I was sad or upset there was nothing, no rhyme or reason to it. It was just, I just wanted to do it like an old-timey Christmas. And you remember we went up in there, and do you remember that, and got the tree?
No, I just don't remember none of that.
I
You sure it
remember-
was me?
Yes, it was you. It was you.
I was out of town working then.
No, I've got pictures of it. It was you. And we were up there, up on the ridge there, and we found there was little tiny granules of snow in the leaves. It hadn't snowed. We didn't even know it had snowed, but it was up there just in the leaves. I've got pictures to prove it all to you. Anyway, and then we found part of an old fence, like a barbed wire fence. You remember that part?
I don't remember none of this.
I'm going to have to get out the pictures and show Matt.
You ain't convinced me yet.
Oh, I showed you the picture of the tree.
Yeah, I'm not, but I don't remember doing any of that's what I'm saying.
And we strung popcorn, and we made the little snowflakes like I was talking about that we might do for this one. And I can't remember what else we put on it. We may have done the sweet gum balls that I was talking about. And it was nice. It's just, I don't know. And then since then, I've not wanted to do that. But we may have to do that next year. Have a very simple. We have 2 little rugrats, ankle biters,
Curtain climbers.
curtain climbers around.
Yeah.
We should have brought napkins today.
We're going to put up lots of stuff.
Yeah, Matt and I were talking the other night about it, and I said we both just forgot about it. It's been so long ago, but we did have our house child-proof, of course, when Corey and Katie were little. And I said, remember, Matt had forgot about them. I said, remember we had the cabinet, like the safety cabinet things? Matt said, oh no, I'd forgot all about them. And you'd go to open it, and you'd forget that latch was there.
And it was like years later.
Yeah, I know. That's what
before
I
we ever
told
took 'em
Matt.
out.
I said, and then I got like an expert. I knew every cabinet, and I would just put my hand in there and unlock it that way. But then I said, the crazy part is we left them on there till they was about 6. We just never did get around to taking them off. Yeah, it was funny.
It's such a pain to put on.
Yeah.
And a pain to take off, too. Are we going to have to put them on again?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Probably
It's
will.
funny, though, you forget about all those things. The only time I really think about it till now is that, like at Christmas or Thanksgiving, when my nephew brings his little girls, or this year my other nephew brought his little boy, and then they're running around trying to see, because they're like, wow, look at all this stuff I could hold on to and play with and chew on. And
Remember the doorknob things?
yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. We even
Gosh,
had
they
them on
were
the
aggravating,
doorknob.
too.
And you may ask, why were we so protective? It wasn't that we were so overprotective. Corey and Katie were into everything.
These banshees.
Oh my goodness,
Wasn't
you could not keep them out of anything. And we were talking about that the other day too. Right when they went to school, just like probably the summer before they started school in kindergarten, I started keeping a little boy, Alex, one of my closest friends, my whole life, her son, Alex, and he's grown now. But he was 2 weeks old when I started keeping him, and we kept him till he went to school. And he was the direct opposite of Corey and Katie. He never bothered anything. He was really smart and really...
never made any noise.
Never made any noise, but and got along and was happy and funny, and Matt loved to tease him, and he loved to help. He was the best little boy, but he never got into anything. He just didn't. And you couldn't leave Corey and Katie alone for 2 minutes, and they would, I mean, you just couldn't trust them because they'd be into something. Yeah.
Must come from your side.
Mm-hmm. Just the difference in kids. 2 different times they pulled a dresser off on them, over on top of them in their room. And both times it wasn't like they were back there, okay, you play in your room, alone for a while. It wasn't like that. I was literally with them, maybe folding clothes or putting up toys or something. And I walked out, and both times barely got to the end of the hallway before I heard the crash.
It's like they were waiting on you to turn your back, and
exactly.
then they just jumped on the side of it.
Yeah, you couldn't. For years, and now that Corey's gone, we've started calling it that again, but our extra bedroom, Corey and Katie shared a bedroom, we just have 3 bedrooms. For years we called it the dangerous room, because that's where we had that door thing.
We have them on the basement steps too.
Yeah, on the basement steps to keep them out of the dangerous. We said it was dangerous, so we just called it the dangerous room.
We still do.
Yeah, and now that Corey's gone, we've started calling it the dangerous room again. But one time they convinced me to let them play in there when Matt wasn't here, and they were bigger then, and I said, okay, but you can't bother anything or whatever. Well, that we still have now we don't now, because Corey took the carpet up, didn't she? It's funny how your mind goes back to thinking of rooms like it was. But before we pulled the carpet up, there was a really nice burnt place, the shape of an iron in it, where they turned the iron on and then set it down in the carpet. So yeah, I was like, okay, so you've lost your dangerous room privileges.
Mm-hmm.
They were a mess though. And then there's other kids that are not like I said. Alex, he never bothered nothing. Didn't get into anything. Just happy to be here, happy to do whatever. He didn't care. He'd entertain himself. He was so smart too. Still is, of course, but so smart. Back then I can't remember if I got a new computer or if something was wrong with the computer. And he was maybe 3, maybe 4. I mean, he was just really little. And he called me Nanny, and I was trying to fix whatever it was. Like, maybe I was trying to, it was like those the big tower computers. I don't remember if I was trying to take it apart or what I was trying to do. But I was just getting frustrated, and he knew it. He was just there with me, and he's like, Nanny, Nanny. And I was like, just a minute, Alex. He's like, Nanny. I was like, just a minute, Alex. And then finally I said, okay, what is it, Alex? He said, I had like the directions laid out, and he said, look, you do that, then you do that. And he showed me I was like, thank you, Alex. Thank you.
That gives you some confidence.
He was so smart. Yeah, I was like, thank you, Alex. Thank you. He's like, Nanny, look, Nanny.
Yeah, he's smart as a whip.
He was so funny too. Anyway, but just difference in kids, and Corey and Katie was definitely banshees, like Matt said, and into everything, and seeing what they could mess up and tear up and get into.
I kind of done that too.
Yeah,
I quit when I got into my 30s, sort of.
What were you just doing in my house, in our house earlier?
What?
With a tree.
Oh.
He brought a tree in the house to aggravate Olive.
And it worked.
And it worked, yeah. So I'd say you're still doing that.
Not as much. Somebody else that lives here's sense of humor has kind of went down the hill.
I
so
never
I don't
had
do
a
it as
sense of
much.
humor.
Well, that's true.
I don't have a sense of humor. It's what y'all tell me.
But you get angry easy when I do stuff like that. So I don't do it much anymore. Right?
No, you do it all the time.
Well, I don't do it like I would if I had free will.
You don't pour water on me in the shower anymore, but you do everything else.
I'm scared of you now, so I don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Christmas does seem to be a time that you think about the old, nostalgia is part of it. Of course, we know the real reason for the season, but it is a nostalgic time when you're thinking back to Whether it was you when you were little at Grandma and Grandpa's, or everybody gather at your grandma's, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what people, the food and the funny stuff, and
And you see people, the only time you see them is that time of year, so it's been a year since you've seen some of them, and it's kind of funny.
yeah. It's really peaceful today. Did you notice that earlier?
Yeah, it's nice and still and calm.
It's so still. When we first got back, I was like, it is so silent. And then I thought that for about 30 seconds, and then our chicken broke the silence, but I can hear a chicken way down there, a rooster now.
I
But
can hear a squirrel way up in the woods hopping around.
it really did me good to be outside today, though. No, we weren't out very long, even now, but I mean, we're still not being out very long, but especially not going to get the little trees because we didn't go far. It's still deer season, so we didn't travel too far into the woods. But I just immediately began to feel really good. I think it's breathing the fresh air.
Yeah, you got to get outside.
And I've not been outside. I mean, other than just a minute here and a minute there, going back and forth to the car or walking to Granny's or something. It's really did me good. Made me feel better.
I like it.
And I was, even while I was walking, we were walking back up the trail to home, I was like, I'll sleep good tonight. Just this amount of time being outside, it makes you sleep better somehow. That's another thing. When Corey and Katie was little, if I wanted them to sleep really good, I made sure to take them outside. It was just something about being outside would just ensure that they slept good that night.
Yeah. Push them out the door and lock it.
Yeah.
Not let them in. That's how they used to do us.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. I mean, there's times they wouldn't let you come in, even if you really wanted to. They wouldn't let you. And that's good. But I never had to.
Nobody never had to make you stay out.
They had to come hunt me after dark usually.
Corey and Katie like to be outside like that.
I'd stay out. I'd stay out till way after dark, and most time, or a lot of the time, didn't have a flashlight. I just done it so much and grew up doing it. You find your way back home.
Yeah.
Don't think that's very prevalent now. Most kids are afraid of that, or
Yeah, and then
are not outside much anyway.
Right, and then people that live in a more populated area, I wouldn't
No,
want my
that's true.
child out.
Yeah, we
like
lived
that.
way back. And,
Yeah.
I mean, not way back, but we
No.
was isolated, kind of like what we are here, and
Yeah.
I roamed all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's good.
It is good.
It's real good. I mean, it's good if you can live somewhere where your kids can do that, because it makes them. I mean, I think that gives them a completely different personality as they grow up.
Yeah.
It's good for them.
I think it gives them confidence
Yeah.
and self-sufficient, knowing they can just kind of take care of
Yeah.
themselves and all that. Oosh, that little wind's cold with the popsicle.
They eat fast.
I'm trying.
I ate mine 30 minutes ago.
I know, you beat me today. It's rare. Sitting out here makes me look at the garden and start dreaming about the next year, but we got a ways, ain't we?
Yeah.
Got more stuff we want to do, though, before then. Whether or not we get it done will be a different story.
Always stuff we don't get done, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Just add that to the list.
Yeah,
That way you ain't never without a list.
that's true. Yeah, you always have an ongoing list. We need to get if you're going to build we never did decide you didn't want to do steps, but little walkways out through there.
Got to get done with playing in the woods first.
Yeah,
I got to get that all the way out of my system.
right.
It's about out, but it ain't out, but it's about over.
Yeah. Told me he needs to bring home some squirrels and
Yeah, I need to
fix us some squirrel.
get in the woods and get after some. I've not
I like to
Nope.
can some.
really squirrel hunted any this year because I've been too busy deer hunting. I ought to jump on that.
Well,
I ain't hunted any this week.
you hadn't, have you?
You've
been too busy doing other stuff.
Busy right in there
Yeah.
with Katie.
Matt's been building set of build-ins for Katie, so she'll have more storage. So that's what's kept him busy this week.
Mm-hmm. And it turned out pretty good. She likes them.
It turned out great. We're very lucky. You can build build-ins and tramp through the woods and bring home I'm going to say cedar again, hemlock.
Bring home a bush.
A bush, yeah. Mm-hmm. I was reading one of my little readings that I've been doing for Christmas, and John Paris, he was interviewing somebody, and I can't remember where it was at, if it was Silva or where, but Western North Carolina. And she told about how when she was a little girl, of course she's an old lady, he says that they did a Christmas bush instead of a tree. And I thought, okay, like a cedar bush, because Granny and Pap sometimes had like those. But she said no, it was a thorn. They got a thorn bush. So it didn't have any leaves or anything on it, just the thorns. And then they made flowers, and they stuck the flowers on it. Isn't that unique?
Never heard of that.
I hadn't either. The Christmas bush. Oh, pretty interesting.
So I guess that's going to make an appearance here someday.
I'll have to find a thorn bush.
Oh, that ain't going to be too hard.
Hmm?
That ain't going to be too hard.
Find a big sawbriar.
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of them.
And just wrap it around. Yeah, they're everywhere. Usually you find them when you don't want to because they scratch you.
Yeah.
Embed one in your shin or your arm. Usually for me it's around in the summer walking with shorts on. It gets wrapped up on my leg.
When I was little, we had a right below our house was I think it was like a big gigantic multiflora rose bush, but it was massive. And it had just been let go, and it just grew out and grew up, and it just was taking over that part of the field. And it was, golly, looking back, it seems like it was as big as the house, you know. And I used to get down in under it and
tunnel in it.
Yeah, and tunnel in it and play. And I got poked and skinned all the time, but I was in there this particular time, and I ended up, it had thorns, big long thorns on it. And the dead ones, you know, the dead stems in there where I was crawling around, the thorns would break off pretty easy. And I ended up somehow with one of those in my eye.
Oh no.
And it didn't poke into my eye, but the whole thing was laying sideways in my eye, down under my eyelid.
Oh gosh.
And there's nobody home but me. And that was unpleasant, let me tell you.
Oh my goodness, how'd you get it out?
And I was down under that stuff on my hands and knees trying to roll it out, and I couldn't get it out, and the more I fooled with it, the worse it hurt. And I still didn't even know for sure what it was. It was just something real big in my eye, and I finally just decided I was going to try to get backed up out of there and go to the house and get my head under the sink, maybe, and try to wash it out. And that's what I done. Or maybe in a water hose, I can't remember. But anyway, in the wind-up, the water got it washed out, and it was one of those thorns.
Oh, gosh.
And it was, you know, big old long, sharp thing. I'm glad it didn't go in my eyeball. I'd have been blind in it, I guess.
Oh, gosh.
And that was sore for, I don't know, a few days. I never did tell anybody or tell Mama or Daddy or nobody, because I figured they'd say, well, I couldn't be in that anymore.
Yeah. Did you ever hear those, like the Folklore or home remedy or whatever, to get something out of your eye like that, you're supposed to put a seed in there and then close your eye and let it, like a flax seed or a something seed?
Mm-mm.
I have. I've not never done that, though.
Well, if I've got something in my eye,
I'm not going to put
something else in my eye, let me tell you.
I know.
That's just not something
That's
I'm going to do.
kind of what I thought.
I ain't going to add to it.
I have heard that before, though.
I don't know what some of them folklores I don't know about.
A lot of them I don't know about. It's like if you get burns, you got to reburn yourself.
Yeah.
I heard Uncle Henry say that one
I
time.
heard
I was
him
like,
say
no,
that.
I don't think so. I'm not reburning I hit the stove on accident. I'm not going to hit it on purpose now.
Yeah. Or if you've got a lot of pain or something, put an axe under your bed and it'll cut the pain.
Yeah. Oh, I believe that one more than the seed and the other one. Just because if it was mind over matter, like if you believed it, then maybe somehow that would help you. There's lots of old folklore there.
I'll stick to the aspirin. You do the axe.
You take an axe with Katie to the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we ain't gonna do that. I probably should use it on somebody.
They wouldn't let us in, but we could tell them we'd want to cut her pain.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd probably think we was the darlings or something. Wouldn't they?
Clampetts come to town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now that'll be an experience.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you've come unfed.
Oh, yeah. I'm always unfed. That little popsicle just don't do it.
No. I guess we better go in and get you something to eat.
Yeah. What we gonna have?
I don't know. We've been eating a lot of course, deer. We eat a lot of deer all the time, but we've been eating a lot of deer burgers, and they're awful good.
Gosh, yeah.
They're so good. So that might be what's on tonight's menu.
You know what'd be good on one of them?
What?
A big slice of fried green tomato.
Oh yeah, I can't help you out there.
Why?
Because you're going to have to wait till next summer, I guess.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying if we had something, that'd be good. You ever see? I've seen that before. People
have in restaurants,
that would put
yeah.
a piece of fried green tomato
Yeah.
on top of a hamburger.
Yeah, or some other kind of sandwich. But
That'd be good on one of them.
yeah, probably. Especially if you like fried green tomatoes.
I do.
I know you do.
They are quite exquisite.
You have to wait. You have to make sure you save a deer burger for that. Try it.
Well, I'll hoard a whole bag of them back and you just can't have it.
Yeah. We've been eating them. They've been so good.
Mm-hmm.
I hear some crows.
Yep, way off.
They were harassing Matt.
Yeah.
They all moved off.
Yep. All I gotta do is go back up there and sit down and they'll come.
And they'll come.
Yeah.
That's funny. Sounds like it's closer. Hey, look, there's those little things on the beech tree. Those would be pretty as ornaments. I guess those are little seed pods.
I guess. You gonna make me climb up that thing and get 'em?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And go look for some sweet gum balls.
Yeah, I guess so. That's gonna be after supper, right?
It may not even be today. Have to be another day probably. I just got the tree there. Now I can worry about the decorating later. I'll have to go through and find some. One thing I was going to decorate it with, do you remember that little tree that I used to have that was, I think they called it a feather tree, but it finally come apart. But I used to set it like right as you go into the living room. It was just about that big, and it had the little dainty pink and blue. I don't know. You probably don't remember. Matt don't care about Christmas stuff like I do.
Well, I like Christmas. I just don't.
He just don't remember all the decorations, or you don't mind. You're just happy I do it.
That's a whole nother video. It's the difference between men and women.
Yeah.
So we ain't gonna go there, but that is what the difference
Yeah,
is.
I
I mean,
know.
I think it's cool, but I don't look back with fond remembrance 17 years ago of the decorations and remember it. I just don't. Like you do.
I know.
You know, and I don't know any man that does.
Yeah. But you appreciate that.
But I do appreciate that you do, and it's
that
pretty
I make
and
it
I
nice
like it.
for you.
Right.
Yeah, but that's as far as it goes.
Right. I mean, I don't have the capacity to remember that stuff. I just don't have it.
I know.
It's not that I don't want to, I just don't have it.
Yeah.
So, and I think I know other men like that.
Oh, I know.
We're just men, we can't have it.
Yeah. You do good. You do good. I think your shirt's coming apart.
Well, it's a thrift store find, but it was coming apart when I bought it, but it was cheap.
And it's nice.
And it's 100% wool, and I like it. I'm going to wear it till it falls slam off of me.
It looks good on you.
I love wool. It was $3 or $4, I think, and it's
Yeah.
wool rich.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a good color for you, or for this time of the year, I mean, for Christmas.
I don't care what color it is. I'm just wearing it because it's warm.
Yeah.
And I like wool.
Well, I guess we'll go in and get Matt something to eat before he gets weak, gets the weak trembles.
Before I get hangry.
Hangry,
Like
yeah.
Katie.
Yeah, Katie gets hangry now that she's
Yeah.
pregnant.
Yeah, she gets hungry and she'll say something too upon hurt your feelings. Won't she?
She apologizes though. She just needs to it's true. People get hangry. I get hangry too.
Well, I guess I do too.
Everybody does. Whoever come up with that word, they were right. That's all you need to do. Like those commercials, there used to be, all you need to do is eat a Snickers. You
Yeah.
just need to eat something, then your whole world will change.
Not yourself when you're hungry.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're always glad when you stop by to visit with us as we celebrate Appalachia.
Squirrel barking. Here.
Where's it at? Over that way?
Yeah, it's over in there somewhere.
I got to find the pictures and show you when we went up there.
I might remember it when I see the pictures.
Found a tree.
Or I might not even been here. I don't know. It might be it might have been my substitute while I was gone. My whatever.
Whatever. Maybe I won't show you the pictures then.
Don't get angry.
Not. He's really fussing about something, ain't he?
Mm-hmm.
What's that usually mean? Somebody's in his territory, or?
Well, that's, you read books and it tells you what all this means,
Yeah.
but then you spend time in the woods and then you realize they just do it just because they ain't got nothing else to do. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
Just
saw
to do it to hear themselves.
I've sat up here and see 3 or 4 or 5 at the same time out milling around, and then one of them will sound an alarm, and then they all squeak and bark, and they all run up a tree, and they stand there and shake their tails for 4 or 5 minutes, and nothing ever happens, and then they jump back down like nothing ever happened and go about their business. Sometimes there's a hawk flies over or something, but then sometimes there just ain't nothing.
Just they got a nervous Nelly.
Well, they've
with
got,
them.
their little head ain't this big, so their
That's
little
true.
brain ain't that big. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I think it might be. But they're fun to watch,
Yeah.
and they're good to eat.
Yeah, they're good to eat. Granny sent me home with the stuff to make those little butterscotch haystacks. Do you like those?
Gosh, yeah, I like them. Yeah,
I need to
I
make.
forgot about those. Yeah, I like those.
I need to make some.
I also like the little Christmas sugar cookies.
Yeah, I've got to do that. Need to have a big day of baking and Christmas stuff.
And at Christmas, I really like that orange layer cake. Are we gonna do that?
The orange,
Yeah.
like the. Which one? Oh, you're talking about the cinnamon. Yeah. Yes, I will make you that.
Oh,
I usually
that's-
make it the week after Christmas.
Oh,
But
you
yes,
do?
yeah, usually. Usually, like my last hurrah of Christmas, I was thinking orange layer cake. I was thinking like a. You was talking about a frosted cake.
Well, it's got.
Yeah,
Stuff
but
you
I was
drizzle
thinking
in it.
like a layer, like you're thinking about layers this way is what you
Well,
meant.
what do you call it?
It's pull apart bread.
Oh, okay. Well, just whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm after.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking though in my mind like layer cake. I make a layer cake. Now I would like a layer cake like Granny used to make, like coconut with the. I wanted to make one last year and I never did get it done. Fresh coconut and put if you're good when you crack out your black walnuts, can get great old big pieces and you put them between the layers. So good.
I wonder if you could make the pull-apart bread that's different flavors besides orange.
Probably, yeah. Probably do lemon, substitute lemon, or you probably do it and not use, maybe just use the cinnamon and not, not the. I said I was gonna make that same recipe and do it in, instead of doing it like the pull apart, like roll it all out and then put this, like just make cinnamon rolls out of it, put cinnamon in it and then put it in a pan and let it rise that way and then pour the stuff on top of it. Because it's such a good bread that I think it'd make great
Yeah.
cinnamon rolls.
My goodness, that stuff's
I should
good.
try that. The orange bread takes a while, but cinnamon rolls would be easier, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Well, it'd be easier if I didn't have to grate all the oranges.
Right.
So, you could try it.
Stuff is sure enough good, though.
I made those, well, the last ones I made, I didn't like the cinnamon rolls. Y'all liked them, but I didn't like them. I like that bread, that the pull-apart orange, because it's so soft. It's just airy and soft. It's not dense. So,
That's good.
I guess you want me to get on that.
What are we doing sitting here?
All right, let's go.
All right.